I was working my job until 5, and then I would start cheer at 5:30. I would end at 9, and then I would go home and work on the next thing for the gym. And then I had to eat at some point. So then I was going to sleep at like 2 or 3, and then I'm back up again at 7 to go back to work. And I did that for 2 years. And I went to my doctor and I said, I think something's wrong. Like, I'm not feeling very well. And I haven't been for like a year. And like, I did a stress test and they said, you don't sleep. And if you continue this, you will have a stroke by the time you're 35.
What's up, guys? Lift and Love. Lift and Love here. Where did you pull this question from? Why is that? Lift Love. Crochet. We out. What's up, guys, and welcome to the Lifting Love podcast. You are awesome. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't subscribed, wherever you get your podcast. But today we have a very special guest. She is a community leader. She is the coach, the head coach, the coach at Top-Notch Allstars. I mean, you have so many titles, it's not even funny. It's Coach Reva.
Hi, everybody.
How are you?
I'm doing great. Yes.
So we like to start every podcast just kind of in the basis of probably most people watching might not know who you are. So for those watching who might be living under a rock, it's okay. It's okay. You do a lot. So who are you and what do you do?
I am Coach Reva. I live in Hickory, North Carolina, and I coach cheer. Cheer is life. I've said it 1,000 times. I'll say it 1,000,000 times over. Cheer is life. Cheer is my life. It is the most important aspect of my life, other than Jesus.
And so we're going to talk all about Top-Notch, and you have a million things going on here. You're always doing something.
Yes.
Before coaching, like let's go way back.
Way back, like when I'm in school.
Like, how did you get in cheer? Like, what is your first memory of cheer? And like, I assume even at a young age, it's just consumed your life.
Yes. Okay. So when I was 7, I started tumbling at Twist and Tuck in Lincoln. Actually, I was just going to a competition last weekend, and we were going by the exit at Lincoln, and I told my husband, I said, please go down this road. And I went and looked inside the building. It's not, they've moved, but it was just so surreal. Like just seeing the parking lot, you know, and yeah.
7 years old is when you started.
7. Yep.
And then, so like, I mean, I don't know if you can remember, but what is your first memory of cheer? Like a tumbling, or when was that first memory? How old do you think you were that you really kind of like grasped it?
Like, I would say 5 or 6 because I wanted to cheer for rec and I didn't make the team. Like, you didn't just like sign up like these kids do now. Like, you just sign up and you cheer the football game. Like, it was a tryout. And actually, when they gave you the, like, if you made it or not, it was like a smiley face or a frown face, like a sticker. And I got the frown face and I just cried. I remember this, like plain as day.
Do you think that kind of started your obsession with it? Was like you got rejected from your first ever tryout, or was it just something you loved and you just wanted to do regardless?
Oh, I was going to do it regardless. I was going to do it in the backyard for no one, or I was going to do it here in Hickory. Like, it was going to happen for me. Like, there was no stopping.
And then so you start tumbling at 7.
Yes, twist and tuck.
And then what does the journey look like from there? Obviously, there's a million different aspects of cheer, which I learned when I came here and filmed a video with y'all last year. I thought it was just, you know, very simple. There is like a million things going on. Apparently, there's this count. You have to count to 8, and then it just repeats. So, like, what did that journey from when you started at 7 look like? And when did you, like, get really, really competitive with it?
Okay, so I started doing the tumbling at 7.
Yeah.
And then they had a cheer class at the tumbling gymnastics place. And I started doing that, which actually I'm in a magazine from like when I was like tiny, because I thought that cheerleading was vases and flowers and not bases and flyers. And so I said that once, and Miss Monica, my teacher, was like, "What did you say?" And I said it, and she said, "Oh my gosh!" And then she entered it in this cheer magazine, and they picked it. Like, so that was the first time I was in a cheer magazine.
Whoa.
Yes, it was awesome. But other than that, it just turned into just tumbling. And then I got to middle school, and I tried out for 7th grade and 8th grade. Didn't make it either year. So I just kept training.
Oh, my goodness.
Yep. I wasn't giving up. I just kept training, and then it turned into All-Star. So then it was Magic All-Stars, which is actually in this building.
Which is incredible.
It is.
I don't have a main
insane.
shot of it, but this whole building is just absolutely incredible.
Magic All-Stars, you know, it was the best. And then I tried out in 9th grade, and I didn't make it. And then I kept training. And then I tried out in 10th grade, and I didn't make it. And then halfway through the season, I was called to move up to varsity. So
just the resilience that you had to just keep getting this thing you love, that it, like regardless, you're going to do it. Just no. What was that driving force to make you keep doing it?
You know, my mom asked me that same thing because she felt so bad for me. But I mean, just like, I will not quit. Like, I will get what I'm going for. Like, it's gonna happen. Like, there was so even back then there was no doubt in your mind that you were making a team regardless at some point. Oh, there was 100% doubt. Every time I was like, okay, let's go try it again. Let's see if they know what I can do. And then once I Twist and Tuck and Magic All-Stars knew exactly what I could do. And then Jesus fixed it, I guess. Anyway, and then it turned into cheering, and then it was straight to varsity. I only did JV for I think 3 or 4 months, and went straight to varsity. And then from there got recruited for Cheer Limited, which is I still have the notebook from 2004 from Cheer Limited. My training, I look at it sometimes to look back and see, some things that maybe have changed, or, business aspects on what I can do. And then I started doing camps and went to App State, cheered there. And
so basically once you got on varsity, it was kind of everything just took off.
Everything fell into place.
Wow.
Everything fell into place. It was amazing. And then after I did that year at Cheer Limited, that's when I branched and did Camp Reva, where I would just help kids that couldn't make a team, because I knew exactly what they felt like. Like, most of it's psychological,
yeah.
Which is what my minor in psych and business, so that, I knew I was going to do cheer, and psychology and business is the 2 things in cheerleading. So those are my minors.
I think it's so, like, now knowing, because obviously we've had conversations before, but now, I didn't know that whole story. So now knowing everything, it is literally like a full circle moment of just everything that's happened, the no's that led to that one yes that just literally skyrocketed, and then coming back to be able to help the kids who maybe get told no on their school team and help them get to that next level. Yeah. So it really is just like this full circle moment.
Yeah.
Like, it's unbelievable.
Yep.
It really is.
It's crazy.
So, random thought that just popped into my head, because I still don't really know cheer. What's the difference between cheerleading and tumbling? Is there is tumbling part of cheerleading? Like, what is, break that down for us?
So tumbling is different aspects, but then part of tumbling is power tumbling, and power tumbling can be running or standing, which is part of a score sheet in cheerleading if you are not non-tumble. Now, you can be non-tumble, and there'll be no tumbling in the routine unless you're doing it into a stunt.
So it's just all a bigger part of cheerleading. It's just like a more specific role of like you're a tumbler, you're a
Right.
flyer.
Like you have dance and tumbling and jumping, and then you have cheerleading, and all of those are in there.
So cheerleading is like the whole game, if you will, and then each position is different. There's like positions in the team aspect of it.
Oh, yeah.
That makes so much more sense. Literally blew my mind. I'm sitting there like, what's the difference? I thought it was like all different like routines or stuff, but I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So then back to your story. So you go to App State and you cheer.
Yes.
When was like cheerleading like for you specifically? I know you still do it with like the moms here and stuff.
Yeah.
But when did that like stop? And when did like Camp Reva and like the business aspect of it really begin?
It's never really ended. So like immediately out of college, I went to work for a gym and immediately went to a team out of college.
Gotcha.
And then from there, different gyms that I've worked at, either I took privates with a different coach, and I also taught privates. So like I would sign up for privates myself with a different coach to keep up.
So I mean, even at the point of like, I might not do it at the professional level or at that competitive level, you were still just like in the gym, just obsessed with it.
Yes, I love it. I actually have practice today. The adult team has practice today, and I cannot wait.
The thing I love the most about like just talking to you about cheer, because when I came last year, like you just lit up. Like I was like, hey, I have this idea. I came and talked to you, and you just the passion just like oozes out of you when you talk to the kids, even though you might be a little heated and yelling, but we're not going to talk about that. But it's out of so much love and like passion for the sport. Let me ask you, if let's say those no's continued,
okay,
and you just gave up back when you were in 6th, 7th, 8th grade,
okay,
what do you think you'd be doing right now?
I would probably still be a officer. Like that's what my degree's in.
Really?
Yeah.
Like a corrections officer?
I was a parole officer.
Oh, parole officer.
Yes.
Wow.
I specialized in the GAIN units and drug treatment.
And you think that's what you would just stayed with that and just?
I would have 100% stayed with that because I still want to do that now. Like I did not want to leave my job, but cheer became so large. I was working my job until 5, and then I would start cheer at 5:30. I would end at 9, and then I would go home and work on the next thing for the gym. And then I had to eat at some point. So then I was going to sleep at like 2 or 3, and then I'm back up again at 7 to go back to work. And I did that for 2 years. And I went to my doctor, and I said, I think something's wrong. Like, I'm not feeling very well, and I haven't been for like a year. And like I did a stress test, and they said, you don't sleep, and if you continue this, you will have a stroke by the time you're 35. And at the time, I was like 32.
Wow.
So I was like, okay, that's like 1,000 days away. I want to live longer than 1,000 days.
So you like literally, it's just that one thing that you've just been obsessed over for as long as you can remember. Like it's because again, I think when it comes to like people find their thing, and I think that is like such a real thing. And until you realize it, like I'm just getting to that point now with like content, and like I'm just upset. It's all I want to do. It's all I think about.
Yeah,
when I have to think
about.
or do something else, my brain is literally like, okay, but like I could spend this time doing this, and I could, and like I'm really at that point now. But like, when did let's jump right to the business side of it. You started Camp Reva. That obviously was not this.
Mm-mm.
So were you like renting out of other buildings, other camps? Like how did the whole Camp Reva thing start?
So I would go to schools and do camps for them.
Okay.
And then if it was like something I couldn't handle, I would always refer them to Cheer Limited because that's the company I supported.
Yeah.
And then, but Camp Reva turned into more like one-on-one training. And so I did it in my house, actually. I went and found a piece of carpet that was left over that I can't remember if it was Lowe's or Home Depot had used. Anyway, I put that in my basement. That was my first mat.
Wow.
And then I spotted tumbling, and then I would like work for like a month or two and save up some money and then buy a different mat. And then, you know what I mean? And
That's incredible.
And then when we moved houses, so that like I moved back here in 2012, and whenever we moved into our other house, that was part of the conversation with the realtor. Like, I have to have 3-bedroom and 2-bath and an office. Okay. And I'm like, I have to have 2-bedroom, 1-bath, and I have to have a cheer room. And they're just like, what? And I was like, no, I am dead serious. It will be a maker, like, no. And I found a house that had actually the guy did like music or something, and it was really cool. Like, he had this like setup. It's like a rectangle room, and it was just plain. There was nothing in there because he had taken all of his equipment.
Wow.
I said, this is exactly what I need. I need 4 walls, and I need nothing in it.
Sold.
Yes. And so Camp Reva was in my house.
You have like the most amazing origin story. It is like the definition of like the American dream, where it's like you find this one thing you're completely obsessed with and you run with it, and it might not look like it's working, it might not actually be working, but you're making it work, and you're making it become this thing that's bigger and bigger and bigger. Like, do you think about that now, like looking back at the time and how like obsessed you were and still are? Like,
all the time. Because I can't control who allows me to continue this. But I can control me continuing to do this. So like I can be told no 1,000 times, but I have told myself yes once, and that's enough, you know? And I have like this crowd of people that believe in me, that are following me on this journey, and I mean, it's impeccable. Like, those people are like family, you know?
At any point, you know, and I think a lot of people are in business, or, I mean, even in life, I feel like they deal with a lot of self-doubt, or really worrying and having anxiety about what other people think about them.
Yes.
Like, when you started, like, did you ever think like, oh, my family probably doesn't approve of this, like I shouldn't do this? Or was that ever a concern? Or was it just, I love this, this is what I'm going to do regardless?
Oh, family was behind it 100%. Like, my mom knows this is my life, and my sister knows this is my life. Like, there was no doubt at all.
So you've always had just support at home, everybody.
Oh, yeah, my family's best.
That's
I mean,
awesome.
I know that's like, you shouldn't say that, like, my family's better than yours. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, like, no, like, I was lucky. I was blessed with the parents that I had.
Because I think that's a huge factor, is like, if you don't have that support system, like, it's so easy to be like, oh, well, I can't do this, I can't do that. And it's so easy to fall into that trap, if you will.
Well, it's because, like, you're out in society and you're being told no all the time. If you came home and was being told no in your safe space, then you would be like, where can I ever be told yes if I can't even be told yes here? You know, so no, family was great.
What was that conversation like with your family when it was like, I'm going to turn this into a business? Like, when it did switch from, I'm actively cheering, and you still do, but like, I'm going to more focus less on cheer myself, but more on like, I'm going to make this a business and, you know, be a cheerleading coach.
So they've always kind of known that this would probably happen, you know? And, but actually, in my office right now, I have a blown up picture of a text message that my dad sent me whenever I became known. Like, it wasn't a secret anymore that I was gonna, you know, I'm gonna do this in Hickory. And it was hard. Like, it was really hard because there's so many unknowns. Like, there's so many unknowns. It's like, okay, it's not, are you going to be successful or not? It's, are you going to be able to make money out of this? Are you going to cut this out and pull this in, but take the expenses from what that was giving you to, this is going to be more, but are you going to, I mean, money makes the world go round. I mean, you can't do things without it. And so you have to think, am I going to be stable enough to do this? And my parents knew this was coming, and they just supported me because I've saved my whole life for this. Like, I didn't spend money when I was little. You know, like when you're young and like people are like, "Oh, here's a birthday card with like $10," and they're like, "Oh, I'm gonna go get this and this." I literally, like, my mom was an accountant. I was like, okay, it's gonna go in the bank, and in about 18 years, that might be $35. I don't know. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I've been saving my whole life for this. So it was really scary because it's like I have this to fall back on, and when that's gone, it's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you've got to make sure you're making decisions now that are going to impact your life in the right direction. And you don't. Like, you make wrong, like, you know, I make wrong decisions. And then I write them down in my little notebook, and I refer back to it every once in a while, and like, this is what not to do.
And then I think that's the cool thing about it, though, because like you get to learn, and even when you fail, like, you're not like failing because you're learning. You know, when you make a mistake or whatever have you, it's like you said, you're journaling down your book. So like over the years, was it like, what was that like moment or like that point where it was like, okay, like I hate using the word successful because it's different for everybody, but it's like, okay, like I don't have to go crazy and worry about it anymore. Like, when did it become like fluid where it was like, this is making business sense?
I still worry. And I feel like I'm going to. Like I feel like I'm going to forever. But it's the text messages that I get, and it's the pictures that I get sent, and it's the invites to the weddings that I get. And it's just like realizing like what I've taught these kids, like on or off the mat. Like, I'm a hard coach. Like, I'm not gonna baby you, you know. But I mean, I treat my 3-year-olds different than I treat my 18-year-olds.
She's not out here yelling at the 3-year-olds. Do that flip. Come on now.
Unless it's National Week.
But forget about it. You can throw everything out the window when it's National Week, okay?
But it's just like I've realized what I've said to them over and over again has finally set in, and they like for me to be a part of stuff. And so I feel like it's not whether or not like I'm scared, like the business aspect, because I feel like every single day I'm wondering what tomorrow will bring. I mean, I'm worried about it. I shouldn't be. Like, that's like one thing I need to work on. But I feel like I'm successful because I have these kids that are still calling me back, or, hey, I want you to know that I was in this situation and this is what I did because I remembered you said XYZ. Or that one time that this was my favorite. That one time that you disciplined me from practice because I didn't come just taught me that I had to be at this work event no matter what came my way. And X, Y, and Z happened on the way to work, and I made it happen. Like, I got there because you told me if I don't show up, I am a failure. Like,
accountability, responsibility,
I
think, and discipline. I think those are huge aspects. You know, as a coach in life, but as a coach, you get to lead by example and show these kids. And I think you're the perfect example of it because no one believes in this more than you. Like, literally, we're literally looking like, this is crazy. No one believes in you more than me. Don't let me down, coach. You couldn't write it better because you believe in these kids and you give them an opportunity that maybe other places wouldn't.
Right.
But as a coach, you wear a million hats. You're a therapist. You're a second parent, a parent figure in their life.
I'm first parent sometimes.
Going from me, I don't want to say me in a bad way, but me as like you're the cheerleader, to going to I'm the coach, and now people are coming to me for advice, for wisdom, for a shoulder to cry on, for the word of encouragement that's going to get them through, practice or get them through the next nationals. What did that look like at first? And then how hard was it to adjust and get to where you are now? Because now it's so natural, it's not even funny. You're just like, and you just say the right thing, and you probably don't even think about it at this point. When you first started, and it was probably really hard, when you first started to now, how challenging was it, and what did that look like for you?
you had to be really careful. You don't realize how much kids watch you until you see them do or say something that you've said or done before. So, like, social media now is huge. So, like, it wasn't hard. I'm not saying it was hard because I acted a certain way on camera and, like, I didn't act a certain way off camera. But it was just, like, you have to be careful now because, or back then it was a little bit easier because when you had the Envy phone and you didn't have Snapchat and stuff like that, like, you weren't really followed. But now it's like you've got locations on you, or you'll go somewhere and now that you're kind of like kind of not well known, but like people know who you are in a smaller town, then it's like, oh, I just saw so-and-so somewhere. And then, I mean, I'm everywhere. I feel like I'm everywhere. And I have to be careful because I don't want anything to ever get twisted the wrong way.
Yeah.
So, not that I do anything bad or anything like that. But you never know.
You never
know.
The
whole AI thing where people can now be in pictures with you that aren't even there. Like, it's just, it's scary because not everyone loves you, right?
Yeah.
Like, so anyone can turn my world upside down if they wanted to. So you just got to be careful.
When was that first moment that you were like, oh, I'm a role model to somebody? When, like, did it ever, like, because I'm sure at some point it was just like, I'm just a coach to them.
I know
blah,
exactly
blah, blah.
what it is.
They forget about me after this. But, like, when was that first moment where it was like, oh, these kids, like, they look up to me?
March 1st, 2020. I know the date. I opened this building and had nothing. And I mean nothing. I mean nothing. So, like, door handles, like nothing. And I remember I said, hey, I'm going to open up the cheer gym. And I wasn't going to, but some things had happened where I was, like, available to open the cheer gym early before the season actually started. So we called it season 0.5, like season half. You know, like, and all my people that are season 0.5, like, you know exactly who you are. I have a picture of you in front of this band, not in front of this banner, but in front of this wall. But those are my OGs.
Banner. Wow.
Oh gosh, yeah, there was no floor. There was concrete.
I love it.
There was concrete in here. And like I had said, I don't know if I was talking to you whenever I said this, but this was like a place that would house like carpet and stuff like that for Home Depot and Lowe's, where I got my carpet from the first mat. But that's what was here. Wow. So the floor was completely filthy. And that day I opened it up to the public and I said, hey, if you want to cheer for 2 months and you want to try this out, let's go. 32 kids came.
That's awesome.
That day. I had nothing. There was no table. I didn't even have pen. Like, there was no paper and pens and a printer, no nothing. It was just like verbal consent. We're getting ready to practice on concrete. Are you good with that? Like, you know what I mean? Like, there was nothing. And that day.
And people still showed out.
That day was the best day of my life.
Was that one of the moments where it was like, all this time, this is worth it? Like, this was the moment where it was like, hell yeah.
It's like, I'm doing it. I'm freaking doing it. I'm doing it. And, like, no one can tell me no because this is my space now. Like, I tell me yes. You know?
That's going to be the quote of the day. I tell me yes.
I tell me yes.
And I think there's a cool aspect of this building specifically because you told me a story last time we talked, and I would love to hear the story about this building and how you got to this place.
So this was where I cheered when I cheered All-Star with my friends. And when I walked back in, I didn't know I was going to be in this building. I just started looking for places to rent and to lease, to rent, whatever. And I was like, man, I really need to figure out what kind of size parking lot I would need. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'll go to my old cheer gym and I'll see what kind of parking they have, and I'll, and then I'll know what I'm looking for.
The most first off, I was gonna say the most random thought ever. He's just like, I'm just going to my old gym. Yeah, it had great parking.
Right. I think really far into things. I mean, really far. And I'm like, I wonder what kind of parking I would need. So I came here and it said for lease on the door, and I said, oh my God. is this available for me? I wonder if it looks the same inside. So I called the number on the door. They met me over here the next morning. I told no one. Not my husband, not no one. Came, looked at it. I made a decision in about 4 minutes. I knew.
Wow.
I was like, okay, I need 54 by 42 feet. I know exactly what a floor is. I know what I need. And I'm looking at ceiling height. I used to be a brick mason, so I was actually counting the bricks up, times it by 2, like trying to figure out what this will work. This is exactly the same building. It'll work. I know it's going to work. Went straight to town hall. I mean, I did it that day. It took it took forever. It took like 4 hours to get all, like, I was like, I'm going to do this. This is what I'm using it for. I'm filling out this paper. It took about 4 hours, and I went home. And I said,
hey, you might want to sit down before we have this conversation.
yeah, I did it today. You did what? I have a gym.
There might not be anything in it, but we got a gym.
And I did it. And I'm doing it. Like, I'm doing it. And he said, all right. I mean, he knew. Like, there is no stopping me. Nothing will stop me except for God himself. Nothing.
So it literally is just like this, again, full circle is just the thing with you. It's like everything is just full circle. Like, this is the building that you cheered in as a younger kid, and now you're back. Now you have your own place. And like, people, like, it is just. Do you ever just like pinch yourself some days where it's just like, is this even real?
I've sat in the middle of this floor several nights and just took it all in. I have another office upstairs. It has a hammock in it. I have slept here several times. So yes, it's amazing. And the gym owner here, when I was cheering, she supports me.
That's
so
awesome.
She will send me messages or like my videos, and that is the complete circle for me. Because it's like the person that told me yes when everyone told me no
is still supporting you.
Is so good that she tells me I'm good now. Like,
I think that's like the impact that you won't realize. You probably see it, but like those kids when they graduate, when they come back, when they start their own gyms, or when they're like, hey, I love this place so much, I want to coach here. Like, that's gonna be the moment. I know you're. I love them. You're ready for it. Yes. So cheerleading as a whole, I think, and we're gonna talk about Top-Notch here in a second, but cheerleading as a whole, I feel like a lot of people don't understand the amount of time, energy, and effort that goes in it. I know before I did the video here, I was guilty. I did not know. And then I sat down with you, we talked, we went through all this stuff, and I'm learning all the different positions and the routines and this. And you hand make routines. You have like schedules that are like to the minute. Like you are like, you're staying up till 3, 4, 5 in the morning the next night to make sure everything is perfect for the girls. Mm-hmm. And if there is like anything you need to change, you make these little tweaks. For someone watching, just explain the amount of time, energy, and effort that goes into cheerleading behind the scenes. If you can. That's a lot. How much time you got?
It's crazy. And some people have somebody that does this for them.
Oh.
I am OCD, so I do it myself. My staff knows it. So, like, for example, like if we're going to a competition, we've done these routines, like, and you have a certain number on the floor. There's also different score sheets.
Oh my gosh.
We don't go to comps where you pick your score sheet.
Really?
Yeah, Like, if you're gonna be good, then you're gonna earn to be good. Like, we're not just gonna win. Like,
jeez.
No, ain't happening. Because when you get older and you go to these job interviews, not everybody's going to get the job. And you're going to learn right now that you're not made for it. Like, you know what? I'm going to have to tell you no sometimes, like some people told me. But, like, when we're going to competitions, it's like I've got all these teams, and usually about 6 or 8. It depends on, like, if I'm competing that day or, like, if we have other things. So there's like a meet time, and then there's a walk time where we walk from where we're meeting, and then there's a check-in time, and then there's a warm-up time, and then there's a compete time, and then there's an award time. But all of that has to match the other 6 teams that also have all of those times.
Wow.
Which then has to match which coaches with which team, and if there's teams that overlap, then coaches have to be split. So we wear headsets so we can talk to each other the whole comp, so we know where people are. That schedule takes me about 3 hours to do for each comp. And I do it because I want it to run smooth the day up. I don't want to not prepare, like lack of preparation results in an emergency. I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
So I plan that so that the day of the comp, I grab my phone and I know exactly where I am every single minute. I'm like, okay, and I can just delete it, and we're all connected in the app. I mean, in this note. So, like, if I put something in there, the entire gym is notified, the coaching staff. So there's just so much time. It's not just the routine. It's like
everything that leads up to it.
Well, and the comps too.
So random question: What did your first competition look like?
Like here with this, or my first
Well,
ever?
Your first one where you were like in charge of the scheduling and everything. Like, what did that look like?
Well, season 0.5, right?
Yeah.
And we had set up to go, and 2 weeks before we go, they said we're changing the location, and I mean it changed. It changed from lower South Carolina or upper Georgia. I'm trying to remember. Oh, the coast to the mountains. Like, it wasn't just like, let's keep the same hotels and let's just drive 30 minutes over. No, it was different states. So
that's where your like level of preparation became. So like now it's like regardless of where we are, we could just boop and then just execute it wherever we need to.
That, yes, I will not ever be caught in that again.
Yeah. So, Top-Notch. I know there's a significance to the name, to the logo. Talk about why Top-Notch Allstars and why the logo specifically.
The 3 calls are for the 3 years that I cheered in this building. So the stars on the word top makes a high V, like the upper hand, the head, and the other hand, because at Cheer Limited, they had a high V in their logo, and that's where I came from, so I want them in it. That's me in the N.
The silhouette.
That's the silhouette of me. And the word All-Stars is the same font that Magic All-Stars used to use on their T-shirt logos prints. And the bow in the middle is the same bow logo on the Camp Reva banner, because I wanted Camp Reva in there too.
Everything is just full circle with you.
Yeah.
It is so unbelievable.
Yeah.
It's just incredible.
Yep.
Just to be in this building where it's like so much has happened. It's so powerful. I think to anyone watching, this is really just like, regardless of if you're told you can't do something for whatever reason,
Yeah.
they put the list out there. You're to this, you're to that, you're not enough this, you're not enough that, whatever. Just like be the person who believes in yourself enough that that's all you need. And regardless, you will accomplish whatever you want in life. No matter how crazy it seems, no matter how out there it might be to some people, if you believe in here, that's all you need to succeed. Because that's truly what it was.
Yeah, because you're the one that's going to keep going. Like, people telling you yes, yes, yes are not the ones that keep you going. They've just told you yes, and they've walked away.
Yeah.
Even if it's good. Like, they told me yes. Well, they're not here. Now what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How much has this place just become your identity? Like everything, every fiber of your being?
I think this is my entire being. It's just like kids will send me something like, look what I found at the store, or my prom dress is teal. Like, it's just like my my trash bags are teal. Like, this is
the attention to detail.
This is everything here is me. Everything. There's not one thing here that wasn't like thought through. Like, and this also carries over to my house.
So for people who don't know Top-Notch, what exactly is it that you guys do, and like what services do you offer as far as like team training, all that stuff?
So we do competitive cheer, but we also do classes, privates, tumbling, gymnastics. We have 18-month-olds. They're our cub club because everything here is cats.
Love it.
Everything is a cat. Like, we've got cub clubs. The adult team, we're the Cougars. Thought that was the appropriate name.
And they're not like, it's not like a parody thing. Like, they're really good.
Oh yeah, no.
Yeah.
And I coach them hard. Like, including myself, I just called myself out. Like, because we'll video and then we'll go into our room. We'll pull it up on the screen, which my coaches got me that this year for Christmas. They got me a TV to put in there to do this. They are the best staff in the entire world. And I have said it once and I've said it 1,000 times. I am nothing without them. But they got me that TV. So we'll watch a routine. And I swear, last practice, I literally screamed out, "Reva, get it together or get out of the front." Like, and that's to myself because it's not fair for me to mess up either. So
I just love like how you're on yourself, like you're on the kids. But anyway, sorry, Top-Notch. You were talking about the cats.
Yes. Okay.
Sorry.
So, and everything's cat themed. And so we have teams that travel far. We have teams that don't travel far. And actually next year we're starting a new thing. I don't want to say too much because I'm not sure exactly how it's going to evolve, and I don't want to ever go back on my word because I will never do that. But we're actually going to have a team that maybe doesn't travel hardly any. So like a area here team, and then a team that kind of goes far, and then a team that's all in. Like, I want to go to Florida and compete.
Is there enough gyms around here to do something like that where you could like have like competitions here type of deal?
Oh yeah.
I didn't know.
There's a gym 1 mile down the street.
Oh, like super close. Didn't know you guys were neighbors. I didn't.
There is a gym 7 miles up the road.
Wow.
There is a gym 18 minutes down this way.
So I bet between the tri-counties, Lincoln County, like Morganton, Burke County.
There's another one there.
Caldwell, Catawba, Iredell, Alexander. I bet there's probably quite a few. There's
5 of us.
That's enough for a competition. We can,
Oh yeah. I'm all about it. Bring it.
And then that's the team aspect. You also do individualized training as far as like.
Yep.
I mean, and I've seen it. There's like the coaches work one-on-one with the kids. You'll work one-on-one with the kids. Mm-hmm. And that's just for anybody in cheer or tumbling or anything?
Yep. I have a lot that come in the spring. So like right now I'm training 2 or 3 for App State. I've got one wanting to do UNC Chapel Hill. Oh. And so they'll just come and do privates, and I just prepare them for tryouts. Or if they're like, "Hey, I think I'm going to try out for middle school cheer. Can you work with my kid?" Actually, I have one coming up. So on spring break, there's a family coming up here to spend time with their family on their spring break, and they're from Florida.
Wow.
And their gym owner down there referred them to me. And so they're coming here for a week on their spring break to train with me so that they don't lose any of their skills when they get back home before they go to nationals.
So the question I got, what how does it feel like being a celebrity? That's
You caught me off guard.
That is the most absurd thing ever. They're coming here on vacation to train here with you so they don't lose out on their skills during vacation. The dedication. First off, I love the dedication.
Oh,
but
yeah.
Second off, it's like they're coming to you to do that. Like that's you must have like the craziest imposter syndrome sometimes. I mean, it's just like.
Well, I've always told myself I'm not in this to get rich. I am in this to get famous. Sure.
I don't want $1, but if everybody in the world could know who I am, sign me up.
Yes, the world would go around better, I feel like.
Do you have any regrets? Maybe not even like full regrets of like, oh, I wish I didn't do this. But like, is there things that you wish you would have done differently when you first started compared to now?
Yes. They're in my notebook.
She's got a whole binder full of it. Anything specifically that you could think of off your head?
Yes. I don't want to say any of them because I don't want anyone else that's a competitor of mine to know what works and what doesn't without them failing also. I know that sounds bad.
So take cheerleading. Take cheerleading off the table, like not kid focused, business related. Like, what is one thing that you wish, looking back now when you started here, that you wish you would have done differently?
I love that I'm here, but I wish I would have built straight off the bat. Because I love this building though. This is my whole, it was full circle. So I know it was meant to be. I know it was meant to be. But had it gone differently, I wouldn't have put so much money into a rent instead of so much money into equity on a gym.
I mean, that makes sense because especially like now, like just looking back over the course of 5, 6, 7 years where it's like, oh, the prices of things. And now that seems a little less likely.
Like the amount I paid for rent.
You could have rolled into.
Right. Yeah. Now we are building.
Shoot.
Surprise is out. No one knows this really.
What does that feel like?
It's scary. We won't go far. We're going to stay here because this is
home.
This is home.
Yeah.
And we're going to build and it's going to be awesome. So I'm looking now at land loans and because I want to do my land loan first, and I've got it planned out. Like
own the property.
It's going to be 2027. So like right now it's 2025. We're going to finish out to like by December, have my land set, start clearing it. The very beginning of January 2026, start building it, getting my stuff in, start moving my things into that fall, and right there at Christmas time, bam. 2027, January, that's going to be it.
And I think one of my favorite things about you, and I think a lot of people watching could take this in the business aspect, you are the planner of all planners. And I mean that with the utmost respect because I feel like a lot of people do not plan. I don't plan to the way you plan. I would probably be 10 times more successful if I planned the way that you plan.
Yes, I'm OCD. Actually, for real, went to the doctor, diagnosed with it, take medicine for it. I'm not just one of those people that are like, oh, I do this a lot, so I'm OCD. No, I for real am. And it's a cursing and a blessing at the same time. But in the business aspect, it is 100% a blessing. Like, everything is planned out. Like, for example, if you cheer here, you're getting your calendar and you're gonna know when your end of the year party is in September, and it's not till May because you're gonna know. Like,
I mean, this podcast was almost planned out almost a month and a half in advance. She was like, "Hold on, wait, I have this thing and that. Can you do this day?" I'm like, "Yeah, like just tell me when, and we can make this happen." But that's awesome, and I think. Even going back to the beginning, and again, I hate being cliche, but everything is just full circle. When you were younger,
it really is.
When you were younger, it was hard work, discipline, holding yourself accountable. Now you're teaching kids how to have discipline, how to work hard, and how to be accountable. And you're doing it. You're not one of the people who just, like you said, you talk about it. Like, you're actually doing it on the business side, on the stuff that people probably will never hear about. They'll get a little glimpse of this with the podcast, but they're not gonna hear you complain about it because you're just gonna get the work done because it has to get done for these kids to be able to cheer.
Oh yeah,
and
there's so many things that people don't know,
and that's what you love, and that's the most beautiful thing because a lot of people, the stuff that goes on behind the scenes is way more important than what you see out here because it's how you keep the lights on, it's how you keep everything running, it's how you keep the schedule for the competitions going. How much does all this stuff just weigh on you? I know that's a really tough question, but because there's a lot going on. There's a lot of moving pieces, a lot of people involved. I mean, how many kids are you up to now in the gym?
104.
That's awesome.
Yes.
That's incredible.
And I don't hide kids. Some gyms will hide kids. They'll put their kids on a prep team instead of an elite team because once you hit a certain number, you have to compete D1.
Wow.
We're not scared. Give me 21 more kids. We will go D1 in a heartbeat. We will not be that gym that hides kids.
Wow. What does that weigh on you though? Because I feel like there is a lot of expectation. There's a lot of pressure, but sometimes that can be a good thing. It's like, hey, like we got to do this because like these kids are depending on us to not only be good and to compete, but also to be like, how can we help them years down the line, not just this competition or next competition?
It weighs a lot on me. I don't want to be one of those people that are like, oh, I got this. I mean, I do, but do I? Like, you know, yeah. I've got this.
Question mark?
Do I tomorrow have this? Like,
yeah.
So yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. It weighs on me a lot. And I have learned how not to take it home because, you know, home is where Camp Reva is. Yeah. So when I go home, I have offices there. So I have, like, my living room is my safe space. Like
no cheerleading, no nothing. Like that is.
Yes. Until it's camp time. And then it's camp time and then we're sitting in the living room. But yeah, like that's where I go to get away. And it's really so stupid. But my living room is like one of those sunken living rooms where you like step down into a step and you're in it.
So not only is it to you mentally, but it feels like it because you're like.
When I go in there, that's nothing can touch me there.
That's awesome.
Right. And then I step back out of it and I'm like, all right, I'm ready to go again. So I'll sit there and watch 7 or 8 hours of TV straight. And I'm like, why didn't I get anything done last night? Why am I up so late? Well, it's because you were in your safe space for 7 freaking hours. Like, get up.
and I think that's a huge thing for business owners out there. It's decompressing and compartmentalizing. Mm-hmm. Where it's like, hey, like, okay, you're working, but when you're home, like you're home, like you're with your family. Let's calm down. Let's eat some dinner. It's not as successful as it can be, but you try.
Right. Like the last time that me and my husband and my daughter all ate dinner together, I could probably count. I know I can count it on my hands from January and February.
Wow. Like
100%. And he's so into it too that I don't feel guilty anymore. Like I would feel guilty going into this. And then he is on board. So now I don't feel guilty because not he doesn't make me feel guilty, but like I don't feel guilty now because I know that he is supporting what I'm doing. And my kid's in this sport. She's on 2 teams. She does 4 privates a week. She's been training since she was 6 months old before she could walk. You know, like kids don't have the little kneecap. That's the perfect time to push their knees in and teach them how to stand still. So, I mean, she's been cheering since she was 6 months old. I mean, it's just, this is our life.
So one of the interesting things I've realized by doing this podcast is talking to people and how important significant others are. Like, you don't realize the person that you're with has such an impact on you until you talk about it. And a lot of people have opened up on this podcast where it's like, I don't know if I would be where I'm at without my significant other. How important do you think his support has been? And do you think you'd be here without a strong partner like that to be able to support you along the journey?
No, I wouldn't be here. But also, too, at first, there's not a lot of support because all they see is take. This has been taken from me. This is being taken from me. This is being taken from me. But the moment we had a kid and she was in here, and then he saw what I was doing to his daughter to make her better in life, he realized I'm doing that to 100 other kids in this community. Instant switch. Like, all in. And not that he wasn't all in at the beginning. He was, but it would just be like, well, we haven't ate together in a month. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But this is me. And this is my whole life. And I know people say, oh my God, you're a horrible wife or a horrible mom for saying this. But cheer comes first, and it has to. And I know that's bad, but the most successful people in life put their business before their family. You have to. I don't like to do it. I don't even like saying that I do this. I feel bad saying this. But when he's on my side, it's like I have a partner at home and at work. So it's like, I don't really feel like I give up anything because like when I'm here, he's at home. Or I'll be at home with her and I'm like, hey, this, and this needs done at the gym. He'll come do it.
That's awesome.
And then I'm at home, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't feel bad per se about it. I feel bad saying it because how people might take
Perceive
that.
it, yeah.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
no,
But you know in your heart, it's like, he's got my back, I got his back.
Well, the other parents know it too.
Yeah.
I think that's what sets us apart. Like the other parents know, like when I go to Top-Notch, Reva puts my kid before her own family. And that is true. Do I like saying that, like I've said? No. But I have to.
Yeah.
And I know it's like really hard for someone to swallow, like a pill to swallow or whatever you per se. But if you want to be successful, that's what you have to do. And if you're not willing to do that, I mean, you know.
So last couple things here. You talked about your staff earlier and how incredible they are. I've got to meet them. I've gotten to work with them. They taught this idiot how to be.
Don't say that. You're not.
In the world of cheerleading, I am what you would call an idiot. Okay, I know nothing. I knew nothing coming in. They were able to teach me how to count. They were able to teach me like phrases and what you guys do, and being able to critique something just by watching it. And I was like, oh, they're that good that they can teach this guy who has no idea what he's doing how to at least show that he knows how to coach. I don't know how to coach, at least cheerleading. How important has your staff been?
Oh, our staff's great. And I can say this with 100% honesty. Our staff gets along. The other staff at gyms hate each other. I know that sounds bad, but someone needs to say it. I'm so sick of seeing these people when one team wins and one doesn't, and this coach is mad and this one's not, or gym owners giving, praise to this coach and not this coach because this team's not doing, as well. I cannot stand it. Our coaches actually like each other. And, for 2 years, I have coaches flying to Florida for a team that's not even theirs to support another coach that's there on a national team.
I love the energy that they all had. And the best part about it, it was like you didn't have to be in the room for your message to get across. Because like you were dealing, when I was here, you were dealing with a kid or a parent or something in there, and they're talking, and as you come in, I guess you didn't hear what they said, but then you said the exact same thing, and they were like, oh, we already got it. So it was like so cool that you guys were just like, you're already knowing what you're going to say or how you're going to say it or how these kids need to be in order to be successful.
Oh, we work so well together.
It literally was just so smooth.
There's no disagreement really. Like it's not like, hey, I think we should do this, and someone saying I think we should do this. Like we all know that this part of the routine needs work. Let's get it done. Now, whatever's going to happen to that part of the routine, so be it. But we all know that this needs work. So and no one cares whose idea is who. Nobody cares. Yeah. Like there's a lot of that in other gyms. Like, well, that was my idea. Like, what? We all work together, and I'm sure you saw it on TikTok, so it wasn't your idea. Like, you know what I mean? Like, come on.
And like success as a gym as a whole for anybody, it's the best thing for everybody. Because if your gym is winning and you're being successful, it's good for everybody. In that gym because it just radiates. Winning is across the board.
100%.
Just because Reva's team that she coaches the most wins doesn't mean that the other coach who maybe doesn't have the most time with those kids doesn't also win. They're a part of it. You guys are together.
Our senior coaches actually coach our 5-year-old team. I put my senior coaches on the tiniest team.
Is that what they were doing when I was here? Because they were like helping them with like flips and stuff. Like the older kids were helping the younger kids. That was so cool.
Okay, so that's their cheer sisters.
Cheer sisters.
So we don't have kids in the gym that coach. That's a liability.
Yeah.
Also, too, if I'm paying X amount of dollars, I don't want a 16-year-old teaching my kid. Like her babysitter in the neighborhood can do that. Like, I know that sounds bad, and some people are going to be like, I cannot believe she said that. I said it.
Yeah.
Like, parents are paying for knowledge, and I'm sorry, but a 16-year-old just doesn't have it.
Yeah.
So the cheer sisters is a good way to get around that. So everybody in the gym has a cheer sister that's here on a night that they practice. So that's who they're linking up with on bathroom breaks and snack breaks and water breaks. Like, so it's team bonding, and I'm not even having to do team bonding.
It was so cool because like the younger kids would run up and be like, "I have a question about this, and how do I do this?" And they're showing them like moves to do.
My
And
heart is full.
It was so cool, and no coach had to be involved. It was just two athletes just having a conversation. And like, yes, one was older and a little more experienced, and one was younger, but it was so cool. And I don't know if that's done a lot of other places.
It's amazing.
When did you realize that this was a business? Because I feel like, to some degree, this is to some degree this is fun.
I know
for
exactly
you.
what I'm gonna say.
Like, it doesn't even feel like work, I bet, some days. And then other days you're here 23 hours and you're sleeping in the hammock upstairs and you're like, I hate this place, blah blah blah. But you still love it to a degree. When did it feel like a business?
Okay, I'm going to tell you, and you're going to laugh, because I figured out that cheer was a business in 2004 when I got my taxes. And I was taxed on all those camps that I have done.
Wow.
And like I said, I don't spend money, so it's in the bank. But then I had to go to the bank and get it to pay my taxes back, because they weren't W-2s, they were 1099s.
Oof.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's when I realized this is a business, when I learned about taxes. But I don't feel like this is a business sometimes, because I come to work. Like yesterday, I came here, I had a birthday party, right? So I'm renting the gym out for a birthday party. I played as hard as the kids. Like, I was barefoot running around and just playing. Like, I was like on my hands and knees, and they were like climbing on my back. Like, so it doesn't feel like work. It feels like fun. But then there's other times it's like hell. Like, I hate to say that because it's a cuss word on here, but I mean, it's hard. And then sometimes it's not.
Yeah.
So
really the biggest thing is just depends on the day.
That's right. It depends on the day.
And if Nationals are around, don't even talk to her.
Oh. No, I'm not eating that whole week. I'm like coffee, score sheet. Like, no. Yeah, don't talk to me on the National Week. I love that.
And so as a coach and a business owner, we end every podcast with the same question. It's the only part of our podcast that is quote unquote scripted, where we have a question going in. So I would like to hear the entrepreneur side, the business advice, and I'd also like to hear life advice. I'll ask them individually. What is the best piece of business advice that you can give to another entrepreneur watching this right now?
Stop praying for what you want and start praying for what God intends your life to have. That is, you've got to live by that. And you have to.
That was so, she went right to the camera. She was like,
Do it.
And then I'll ask you the same question about life, maybe to someone who's in cheer and they're feeling down. Maybe they were in a position like you when you were younger, and they're just getting told no a lot. What's the best piece of life advice you give to someone watching this?
You're going to get told no a lot, but you're also going to get told yes every day, because that's who you live with you. So like, let's say I'm trying to think of something that I might do this week. Let's say I'm trying to get something for the gym and it's sold out or something. Like, no, you can't get that. Okay, great. No, I can't get that. But yes, I can get something similar. Like, I decide what I do. Like, someone can stop me from doing something that they want me to do, but I cannot stop myself if you don't allow it. So you're going to hear a lot of no's. Like, let's say you hear no every day, but you can also hear yes every day. Like, and if someone told me no today, I'm going to tell myself yes twice. I win. Like,
I own the building. I say yes.
I said yes.
And then the absolute last thing before we wrap up, where can people find you on social media? How can people support if they want to either volunteer or donate? And then how can people join if they wanted to join?
If you will just go up Facebook. So Reva Shane, REVA space SHANE, anywhere there, or Camp Reva, or Top-Notch. So TikTok, Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook, all of it. But a lot of times people will just go straight to Reva Shane and they'll send me a message and I will send them the links to all of the other ones so they can just click on it. Because sometimes like hashtag Camp Reva or Camp Reva, because sometimes they won't let you use the hashtag on a name of the page. So yeah, or you can just text me 828-612-4439 anytime. I don't sleep, so anytime.
I do have one random last question because it just popped in my head. What does 2025 look like? I know 26 and 27 are taken care of.
Yeah.
We got that. We know what's next. 2025, what's the biggest thing that you're excited about this year, and what can people expect from not just Camp Reva, but Top-Notch and all the stuff you guys are doing this year and what in there?
So when tryouts come around, we are going to have a new comp schedule that we're not used to going to. So I'm really excited about that because it's going to be something different.
It's different as in more competitions or different as in just timing?
Different ones. So like sometimes we go to the same ones every year and then we add in extra random ones. Next year we're thinking about doing all new. So like we might go to the same city, but it's going to be a different feel. It's going to be different. And I'm excited to learn different comps, and maybe, if you go to the same one all the time, it's the same routine. I would like to go somewhere and challenge myself and learn something else.
I love that.
Because who's not to say that I'm not going to have my own competition one day?
It's going to be at the new place, new facility.
It's going to
be at the Hickory Metro Center.
How do you know?
Because it's the place out here to hold the competition.
Yeah, we'll talk about 2030 later. Like, I've got my whole life planned out.
But if you haven't done so, first off, thank you for your time.
Oh my
Shout
gosh,
out
you're
Coach
so welcome.
Reva, Top-Notch Allstars, Camp Reva, everything you got going on. Thank you for your time. We've had conversations before, and just to hear your story is so impactful because you hear no, you get told no to your face, but like you were just so dedicated to just being like, this is going to happen regardless of who says it. And you didn't care who said it. Someone close to you, someone not close to you. You just trucked along, knew that this was what it was going to be, and you're so passionate about it. And you're so passionate still. That's the most important thing. So thank you for your time. Thank you for allowing us to be the platform to tell your story. If you haven't done so, make sure you go subscribe to wherever you get your podcast. Shout out Top-Notch Allstars. Go follow them on all the podcasts, all the platforms that they're on. See, look at her waving right there. But this was another Lifting Love podcast. Most importantly, until next time, lift love, crochet. We out.